Hi, I'm Steve, you. Welcome to the video. I'm just going to run you through a case study of one of our clients, just to show you what we've done and the results of our actions. So basically, this client came to us. They had been doing SEO a while ago, but they didn't feel that their previous provider was doing anything. They didn't get any reports. They just weren't very clear on what was going on. They were difficult to contact. So then they came to us in early July, and we onboarded them, went through their website, found a heap of errors, which we had to go through and fix. And then we built them a content strategy. So I'll walk you through that anyway. But basically, after fixing the website, we were able to get them a little bit of a boost, and then we started building content and links to that content. And that's really had a rather massive impact on their traffic and their conversions as well. So they've basically doubled their traffic, which is awesome. They're very happy about that. So are we. We like to see those sorts of results. Obviously, there's a bit of a dip in this January period. No one really does anything then. December is slowly going down as well. So, I mean, that's just general search traffic. You're not going to be able to improve that. But what we did was basically we utilized 6 tools. Here's 4 of the tools they'll use to analyze the website and just basically come up with what is going on a page level. We actually found that there was a lot wrong. So unfortunately for them, they'd been paying this company that was supposed to be doing something, but not everyone is going to do what they say they will. So unfortunately that happened. So there were a lot of 301 redirects. So the pages were redirecting. When we went through, we actually found that most of these were irrelevant. The problem with these is they cause time. So when there's a redirect, it slows the page load time down because it needs to go from that page to another page. Anyway, I'm getting too carried away with that. There was a redirect loop as well, which is a technical word for just saying that one page linked to another and then a link back to the other page. So it was just stuck in this loop where they couldn't really access the page. And it was just frustrating for the end user because they couldn't get to the page. It would just keep on loading and going backwards and forwards. It was just not a good experience for them. 404 pages, so the pages weren't found. There are 8 of these. It was just I don't understand how this wasn't at least fixed. Canonicals weren't set, so technical, we'll just ignore that one because it's too technical to explain. Most people don't understand it, even if they do have a technical understanding of websites. Multiple versions found. So basically this is when you go like HTTP, HTTPS, www, and non-www. So they had all 4 of those showing up. So we just had to fix those as well. Just making sure that it goes to the one site. Basically, if this comes up, Google sees it as there's 4 versions of that site. So it will not rank it as highly as it possibly could because it can't really figure out which one you want presented. So this was a big problem as well, and it was a really easy solution. Mixed content as well. So some of the pages were loading as a HTTP So this is up here, and then others were loading with the HTTPS, which is the secure version, which is the version that we wanted. So we figured out what the problem was there, and we fixed that. There were orphan pages, so it's another technical. I'm trying not to be too technical, but this is like technical stuff. So orphan pages are basically pages that don't have links to them. We went through and we did a whole new information architecture up for them. So we site mapped everything to give a visual view of what the site could look like based on the pages that they currently had, and compared it against what they currently had. And we actually rebuilt a lot of the structure behind the pages. So we didn't rebuild pages so much as just how they were linked to, and we put in a better internal linking system so that the navigation made a lot more sense. It was easier for the user to get to where they wanted to be. And there was a bit more of a customer journey involved. So they would reach the home page, or they would reach a content piece, and then they had somewhere to go. There wasn't any mysteries. It was very clear where we wanted to lead them. So location pages had duplicate content as well. So basically they had all of these these location pages for their particular city, each of the suburbs, but they had actually, I'm not sure who did this, but basically they duplicated each of the pages and just changed the suburb to the next suburb, and it was exactly the same content. It just had the keyword that they were trying to rank for and the suburb that was changed. It was really old school tactics that Google's smart. It's slowly starting to pick up these sorts of things and just throw them. URL structure was complicated. So basically what we were finding these two are kind of similar. So basically we were finding that they would have the blog, and then they would have the category, and then they would have the blog post. But it was like they would have 22nd of the 3rd, 21, and then it was just really complicated, and no one was really going to look at that. Their site wasn't big enough to justify a dating system, and it was click heavy. The depth was just wrong. So they basically, Google had to crawl through all of this, and to find some of these pages, you just couldn't. They didn't show up well on the blog. It was just messy, just really messy. Page speed had issues as well, so the images weren't scaled. So basically what that means is the images weren't served in a format that is consistent with the page. So basically they were huge, and the file size was about 5 megabytes. We reduced them right back to 100 kilobytes. I think we got them down to around 80 for some of them. But basically it dramatically increased the page speed. We were able to keep the quality as well. So even though we reduced them down, it didn't make it look bad. They were perfectly fine. We couldn't really fix this because of the template that they were using on WordPress. But we moved them over to our server, which increased this. That got rid of that one. We used a plugin for WordPress called WP Rocket, which helped with their caching. So they've now got a caching policy in place. And we were able to fix some of the render blocking resources by pushing stuff further down and getting the images to load slower and that sort of thing. We weren't really able to remove a lot of the JavaScript because, again, some of the it was going to cause issues with their template. But one of the things that we were able to do, they actually used a plugin to have Google Analytics. Instead of using that plugin, we just put the code directly in using Google Tag Manager. And that worked out better because it reduced the page speed as well, and there was less bloat from that plugin, which was completely unnecessary. All you needed to do was put in the code, and it would have been fine. From there, we moved on to a content strategy. So we put together this idea of a hub spoke, so pillar topics and then cluster topics all around it. I'm not going to show you the strategy, but basically we went through and identified several pillars that they wanted to own. So they're in the health space, so the pillars were very much health oriented, but we also went into family and those sorts of concepts. I'm not going to go too far into it because it is theirs, but we didn't just go and grab some keywords and build some content around it and that sort of thing. We had these pillars in place so that we could then go and say, this is going to bring in traffic for health-related topics. Family is also related, and you've got social content there as well with that content. But these content pieces we really utilized for the next part, which was going into creating links for them. So we were able to get some really good links like finder.com.au. We were able to get them into Lifehacker, and we got them into traveler.com.au. I wish that I could say that we got them into Police, but that wasn't us. We got them into Cancer Council, dementia.org.au. They did a lot of work themselves as well, which is good on them. But the end result was that we were able to produce, we were able to instruct them to create content that actually addressed the what people were searching for, the kind of questions that they were asking, that sort of thing. It also led to better opportunities for us to reach out to these bigger organizations that do provide a much better link than just going and getting a directory or Joe Blow who blogs about something about health down the road and doesn't really have that great of a website, but it's okay. It just gave us higher quality websites that we could get links back to that website from. And the end result speaks for itself. They doubled their traffic. They've been increasing with their leads. Their website is no longer a mess. They've got content. They've got a content cadence now as well. So it's not just something that's stopped. We've provided them with 12 months worth of content ideas that are around these pillar topics so that they can create a library of content that will sit there and they just need to keep it up to date. But we'll keep on working with them so that these pillars expand and they can take on more of the market. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you got something out of that. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.